Okay, we're picking up where we left off last video. We're talking about, this is still the Comic Corner, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic, Last Non-Classic, episode 2659, and Doubleshot number 20. Is it 59? Let me. No. No. Thank you. It is 2669. 68, excuse me, and 69, and Doubleshot 2563. There we go. That's better. Okay, so in the case of issue 125, is Justice League versus Two-Face. Actually, just a guess. He kind of is sort of joining the Justice League, but not really. Take on the Dornanians and the Women of Cord. Yes, characters from, I kid you not, from Green Lantern. Yes, the Weaponers of Cord. Characters not made that many appearances over the years, and they appear for this two-part story. 125 and 126. Oh, isn't Two-Face next issue? Yeah, he is. And this also, I think this is the start of Jerry Conway's time with the book. Yes, I think 125 is the start of his run. Yeah. I think it is. Because Conway, oh my gosh, this guy had the longest run in the history of this title. He wrote more issues than anybody else who wrote this damn series. Like, my God, 125 was the start of his run. A run that went from 125, it stopped 134, but then he came back 151, and he did not stop until he reached. He just skipped one issue though, but he mostly did, his final issue on this book was not until 255. Yes. So when he returned, it started a 104 issue run. So he had a very brief run to start, and then he had a long run afterwards. Yep. So after this really interesting two-parter, so then it's basically then working with Steve Lambar, who was a Superman character, who's a very arrogant guy. Yeah. Who, by the way, still around. Yes, this character is still very much around. Still appearing in Superman comics. And you might be curious, though. Does he still work for Daily Planet? Oh, heck yes. He does. For some reason, he, at the start of the current continuity, he didn't appear very much. His first appearance was in Justice League, number 9, which is weird. Yeah, mostly put heavily during Dan Jurgens on the book, and a little bit when Bendis on the book. And when he had Josh Williams come on the book, it's like when Superman just appeared in one issue, because most of the book he just mostly appeared in just action or other books. Not a lot per se, but his most recent appearance, I think it was issue 9 of the most recent volume for Superman, which came out just a few months ago. That was his most recent appearance. So very much around. So take on Anarchist in issue number 127. 128, it's like, oh, Wonder Woman's back on the team, and then she dies. But don't worry, she's back. And they take on, and of course, it's also first appearance of Necron. And you're thinking, Necro, you mean the demon behind Underworld Unleashed? No, completely different character. This is an alien who appeared for 2 issues. Well, let me rephrase that. Necron is also the name of a Green Lantern villain. Yeah, this one's from the Earth one. Yeah, the Green Lantern villain was created by Mike W. Burr, Lee Wein, and Joe Stanton, with appearance in Tales of Gun to Core number 2. Yeah, the main villain behind Blackest Night. So, Similar name, but completely related to the Green Lantern villain. But yeah, one was back on the team, which is awesome. Martin Perisco takes over for this issue per se, but you're probably thinking, like, okay, yeah, for a couple issues. So Rich apparently dies, and this guy starts appearing after this. My guess is someone DC must like the name, so they gave it to a Green Lantern villain. And then 120, 130, here's the title of it: Skyjacked at 22,300 miles. Yeah, it's basically the Justice League's satellite being held captive. It says this issue takes place between 170 and 180. So it's like right after the creation of their base. And then in 131, it's Justice League fighting zoo animals while taking on Queen Bee. And Conway's back in the book after being gone for a few issues. And then for 132, the Beasts Who Felt Like Men. Yeah, it's still continuing dealing with Sonar, who was a Green Lantern villain, and Queen Bee for this quick little two-parter. And then we have them fighting Despero again, which, it's a Superman issue, where he's like the star. You're thinking, Despero, is Martian Manhunter here? Well, not here just yet. Now, here's something I might find interesting. Okay, when was the last time that he ever fought the Justice League? Okay, prior to this very issue, the last time he ever fought the Justice League was back in issue 58. I think that was I think it was a reprint issue. Was it 26? Yeah, it was actually 26 in 1964. Thinking, really? Yeah, that was the last time that he ever fought Justice League. And that was just a few years after his debut appearance. And he appears here again for this issue, for this two-parter, and does appear again to issue 177. But yeah, great to see Despero again. And this is also, like, I had this theory for years that anytime this guy shows up, Martian Manhunter has to be there. I guess this is one of those cases Martian Manhunter was not available. Yeah, if you wonder where he is, why he's not part of the roster, I think DC have retired him at this point in time. Yes, I think so. In 135, it's a team up between the JSA and the JLA, but we also have the debut of a brand new super team from Fossa Comics. The Fossa Comic characters have teamed up for the very first time, led by Captain Marvel. Yeah, it's called Shazam Squad of Justice. It's Bullet Girl, Bullet Man, Eyes Mr. Invincible, Miss Scarlet, Mr. Scarlet, Pinky, and Spy Smasher. Yeah. You're thinking, wait, Spy Smasher? Wait a minute. Isn't it also the same villain Gail Simone had pop up in the pages of Birds of Prey? Yes and no. The one pair of Birds of Prey was a woman. Yep. And she was an old acquaintance of Black Canary. Not Black Canary, of Barbara Gordon. Yeah, Gail's had her first issue 100. Yes. And her last name is the same one as the original one. Now, unknown if these two are related, it's never confirmed. But, yeah. You might think it's just Shazam Squadron is led by Captain Marvel? Yes, he is. It's basically the rest of the Fossa characters. Though, this was actually the first time they appeared in the regular continuity. The first time they appeared was Wiz Comics number 21. Well, that was the first team. Yeah, and it's a quick two-parter, and the quick Wizard Shame. And here's the villains: King Cole, Queen Kilia, Ibeck, the Penguin, and Blockbuster. You're thinking King Cole, meaning the character from Conan the Barbarian? No, a completely unrelated character from Fossa Comics. Yeah, Fossa Comics had a character named King Cole, who's an alien. Yes, a frickin' alien. Queen Kalila, Fossa Comics villain? No, it's a Wonder Woman villain. Yep. Ibeck. Ibeck is a Captain Marvel villain. Of course, we have Blockbuster, basically enemies of Batman. These issues were written by Aidan Nesson Bredwell and Martin Paradiso. great issue. I love this two-parter, Crisis on Earth S. And you might be thinking, does Joker get punched in this issue? Not really, no. The cover's a lie. Yeah, apparently the Joker does appear in here. But it's the Earth 2 Joker. Yes. First time he appears since the Golden Age. And he gets punched by Batman. Moving on to 137. It's, well, still continuing that very same story. It's a 3-part. Interesting. So Mr. Adam apparently gets killed off here. So it's a 3-parter. Yeah. And then finally move on to Adam Strange's story. Yes. So he returns this book. Last time appearing in the book was actually in issue number 121. Back here for a quick 2-parter. And then like 140 and 141. Oh boy. No one escapes the Manhunters. This is issue here. This begins a run of the book that lasted for about a handful of issues per se. But yeah, they basically have 140, 140. This is a 2-parter. And this is when Steve Eichelhart takes over the writing duties of the book for about 10 issues. And this is basically giant size, which means it's basically about 30 pages, not 40, 50 pages. Yeah, this is basically following up from first issue special. I think issue number 5, I think it was. So, basically, Mark Shaw is back. First time since that particular debut issue. And this 2-parter brings about the public appearance of the Manhunter robots. The predecessor to the Green Lantern Corps. And in this story, you might find this familiar. Okay, so Hal Jordan is framed for destruction of a planet, put on trial, and Superman with Wonder Woman finds that the planet still exists, and it's all a big ploy by the Manhunters. Now you're thinking, that sounds vaguely familiar. That also sounds like an episode from Justice League. That's because they adapted this two-part story for that one, except more Green Lantern stuff in that one. But yeah, this time in that one, I think they replaced Martian Manhunter they replaced Superman with Martian Manhunter and they replaced Wonder with Hawkgirl. But this is an excellent 2-parter. It also has Mark Shaw have basically a presence book very briefly before he's written off over a decade before he basically returns in Millennium. But he becomes the Manhunter. Also the leader of the Manhunter cult, which basically is a follow-up to that. Yeah, it turns out the Grandmaster of the Manhunter cult was actually a robot. Yep, and he gets destroyed after this 2-parter. Yep. Yeah, the Manhunter Grandmaster debuted in the same issue as Mark Shaw and gets killed off in the very next issue. He's a robot, per se. Well, not the actual one. But he later returns in Millennium. But yeah, love this 2-part. No one escapes Manhunters. No world escapes the Manhunters. It is so awesome. Yeah, Mark Shaw charges side of good. And kind of becomes basically a good guy for the first time. And then finally, for 142, well, it is basically them versus, well, a construct. Let me take a look at this. I think this is the last one. Okay, so a few more issues. Okay, so Face of a Construct. It's basically dealing with some of the aftermath of the previous story arc. And then 143. Oh yeah, Wonder Woman strikes Superman. Yeah, it's because they were the Justice Gang of the world. Yeah, and also Mark Shaw becomes a supporting character known as the Privateer. And his appearances in this book are very brief. Only a small handful of issues. It's like he's here for a small period of time and he's gone. Yeah. Yeah, he's here for 143. This is returning again to 143, 150. And then, what were the last few issues? Well, in issue number 144, it's The Origin of Justice League, -1. Yeah, it's like they claim that the origin of Justice League was in 1969, even though they say, oh yeah, it was 1962. It was actually 1958. Yes. Yeah, basically Green Arrow finds out just like live with an origin story, and Mary's been manipulated. It's really weird the fact that Echo Heart thought a good idea to tell the backstory of them, and they were the White Martians. Yeah, I'm not really sure what was the purpose of this issue. Not really, but and then 145, it is, well, them taking on the guy, someone called Count Crystal, a sorcerer who basically appears in one issue. Yep. And finally, 146. Basically, Hawkgirl joins the roster, and Contract 3 gets destroyed. Yep, just a robot. Red Tornado is basically Rebecca is reinstated as a member of the team, and that's pretty much it. Love these issues of Justice League America. It's awesome. But I'm going to give Justice League Bronze Age Animus Volume 2 a 10 out of 10. It is just really, really good. Next up is Teen Titans Prime of Life. Yes. Yep, and this story arc here is, in fact, the final story arc, the final issues of Teen Titans, Volume 3. Mostly put in the case of issues 93-97, it's Return of Solstice, first time this is a Young Justice comic book, and it's mostly about her working with the Teen Titans to basically solve some they went this guy called Taka. This creature was Taka, who's here for this one story arc, and that's pretty much it. She kind of like joins the Teen Titans with issue 97. Yeah, she kind of like joins the team. Very interesting multi-parter. It's written by the way, this is written by J.T. Kroll and art by Nicola Scott. And the last 3 issues, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yes. The main villain of the final 3 issues is known for this very famous line from Countdown. I'll kill you! I'll kill you to death! Those who are familiar with that particular line, it's Superboy Prime. He is back with his own Legion of Doom to take on the Teen Titans in this awesome 3-part storyline to end this volume. Yes, though he doesn't have it, he has his own group. It's made of Headcase, Inerta 2, Indigo, Pursuer, Sun Girl, and Zookeeper. Yeah, his own Legion of Doom. Yeah. By the way, the members of the roster at this point is Beast Boy, Kid Flash, who's Bart Allen, Raven, Ravager, Red Robin, aka Tim Drake, Solstice, Superboy, and Wonder Girl. And then issue 99. Yeah, it debuts the brand new one. And of course, Matt appears as a corpse. Yeah, and of course, the final appearance of Dr. Cooligan. Yes, who was a character who appeared previously. Yeah. And then at the end of this issue, so Superboy's got his Legion. So what did the Teen Titans do? Call on every single Teen Titan, basically, who appeared in this point, who's no longer part of the team. They call in Aquarel, Argent, Blue Beetle, Bombshell, Bumblebee, Flamebird, Hotspot, Mirage, Miss Martian, Offspring, Prism, Red Star, Damian Wayne Robin, Mia Dearden, Supergirl, Fox, and Zadra. Yes, Jose Lestics, and then we lead to the explosive 100 issue of the series. Well, this volume anyways. Yeah, where it's basically like, yeah, so they pretty much in the way they basically have a big humongous brawl with the Legion of Doom, and then of course, okay, we beat Superboy Prime, so what do we do with him? Let's have Superboy and Wonder Girl put him in the Source Wall. Yes, they imprisoned the Source Wall, and that's the last we saw of him. And that was 13 years ago. I'm like, wow, JT Crow, what a way to go out basically before the relaunch. I mean, damn, this arc was amazing. I love this arc. It's pure awesomeness at its finest. And it's a shame he didn't do this book when the book got relaunched. You got Scott Lobdell who did this book afterwards. So that was really interesting. So I love this last 3-parter. It is pure joy. It's basically like, yeah, we're going to relaunch, basically. And also, this book had been doubling up. It would look like, look at the relaunches. But you might be thinking, did I own any of these issues? I did own the opening issue. I think I did own 93 at one point. But I didn't own the rest. But damn, this story was amazing. Like, my gosh, it was so awesome. I love this story arc. It's a shame we can't see the characters look like this anymore. Not really, no. Not like. Also, one point in this story, they had Connor. For some reason, they had him in one issue of this story. I think they had him basically as holograms, where Superboy brought in basically version went one from the 90s, one in the 2000s, and I think one from like Young Justice. I think it was one was like the spiked shoulders. Yeah, it was a really weird thing with basically Connor, but great book overall. Loved it. Yep. JT Grohl did a fantastic job with this run, and it's a shame he didn't get much work after this. He did a few issues of Green Arrow right after this, and then he was done with DC. Hasn't worked for DC since then. The guy is a damn good writer. I'm surprised basically DC's doing anything more with him. First, final thoughts on his very brief run for Teen Titans. Really good run. No bad issue this whole bunch. But and also good artwork too. But final thoughts on Volume 3, because this is the end of Volume 3 for Teen Titans. An end of a really good volume in my opinion. Now, I have heard that people who love Peter David's Young Justice do not like this run. Well, the early stuff anyways. I'm sure they might go over afterwards. Because Jeff Johns wrote something pure fans didn't like. The fact that having fun was a bad idea. I don't know. Also, for some reason, for the final issue of this book, it's like, okay, so we don't have Cyborg Peter here, or Starfire. By the way, at the end of the final issue, Ray and Beast Boy make out. Also, in these final issues, Connor and Cassie break up. Which, what? Yes, I don't know why, but they do. In my honest opinion, this was an amazing volume. And it's something, though, the fact the first half of this book was done by Jeff Johns. All but, 3 issues. But basically, for the first half of the book, this run, it's all Jeff Johns. Second half, it's Stephen Keever, and I think it was one female writer to go, and JT Grohl was 3 writers afterwards. It's surprising that this book didn't have more writers. It only had, if you think about it, it technically had 4 or 5 writers in 100 issues, but that's not bad. Not bad at all. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up, more Comic Corners. Physical stuff this time. Okay? Next video. Bye.